Denzel Boston out of UW, out of Washington, 6'4", 209. He's number 3 on my list. He did not make your top 6. If I'm wrong, correct me. But we can talk about why in a second. 6'4", 209. I had him as a early second-round pick as we sit here. Wide receiver 3 on my board, as I mentioned. And my comp for him, and we'll do comps, and some will be good, and a lot may be bad, but that's okay. Jaden Higgins, Iowa State second-round pick of the Houston Texans just a month or so ago. So he played primarily outside. Does have some punt return ability, which I thought was interesting. 104 targets as a big target, only 3 drops. Huge catch radius, soft hands. I thought he had some surprising yards after the catch wiggle. The issue, of course, and this is sort of the issue I have with Jaden Higgins, I didn't think he was consistently getting separation early in the route, but he's an efficient route runner. I thought he uses his hands well. He's going to be good against press because of that size, and he actually is, in fact, good against press. And most of his catches on the short and intermediate routes will be contested catches, but he also had some surprising deep speed as a long strider for me. So he was my wide receiver 3, consensus number 5 for our list here. What'd you think about Denzel?
Like you said, he was a little further down for me. He was number 9 on my list. And I think the qualities that stand out about him are his size, his catch radius, and his hands. But beyond that, I didn't see a guy that was going to separate, and I thought he struggled to separate at the college level. I thought he had average lateral separation quickness. And again, it's him being able to frame the ball, to post up and create that separation using his size and his length, which I think here at the next level, at the NFL level, is going to be an issue once guys know that you can't necessarily run by him. So they're going to press you more and play you more, underneath without worrying about you being a vertical presence for him. So he was a little bit further down. And, and that's not to say that this guy can't play, because I think he can play. I do think he will be a day 2 pick. But I think there are a lot of guys like him, his stature, his build, his lack of separation, if you will, in this class. And so I'm trying to find that guy that can do it all.
So he reminds me a little bit. Jaden Higgins was my comp for him, and you can tell me how much you hate that if you want to. I thought Jaden at times struggled last year to consistently separate. Obviously, the Texans disagreed with me in terms of how high they took him. Our buddy Lee Doosable loved him as well. But also another name that comes to mind is Nico Collins coming out of Michigan. And Nico got substantially better once he got to the league. Obviously, C.J. Stroud helped with that, but a lot of that was Nico, and he got himself paid as a result. Any similarities between those 2 players and Denzel, or am I off base on that?
No, it's funny you bring up 2 Texans wide receivers there, but I think it's probably more closer to Jaden Higgins than Nico, but because I did think Nico coming out, there was a question of how fast was Nico really. But like you said, a lot of these guys are long strider, high knee runners that cover ground. It may not be the quick, twitchy, explosive variety, but these are the type of guys that can close the distance just with their stride length and be able to put the DB in a conundrum and trying to figure out when to gets on them quickly, and it looks different. So it's almost like that lull you to sleep, type of speed. But I'm just interested to see what Denzel runs and see what the GPS times are. And that was one of those things where I looked at and I made that note in my last line. It's like, I'm going to reserve, the right to judge his speed until I can see him live and see him in person.
Right. And the other thing that often happens is you watch someone over the summer from the previous year's tape, and they've matured, they've gotten stronger, they've gotten faster, whatever. I remember Rome Odunze, I liked him over the summer, and then he went crazy in that last year at UW with Michael Penix Jr. and that crew that went to the national title game.